Canelo, there's a lot of articles and social media news floating around saying that you could potentially be negotiating with Terence Crawford directly for a main fight. Any truth to that?
No, I'm working in other things. Now I'm enjoying my family. I'm not talking about boxing yet. So maybe in January we wanna start doing that.
Where do things stand with Turkey? Turkey said he would like to open a line of communication with you. No middlemen, just you and him.
I never say no to business. So if it is a business for me, I'm open to talk, no matter what.
Anything else for Chula Vista?
No, thank you everybody from Chula Vista. Thank you for your support.
The likelihood of a fight with you and Terence Crawford, it would be one of the biggest in boxing.
We don't talking about yet about the fight. Me and Turkana know each other, and then we wanna see what happens.
And when do you want to get out next? I know you're here in London tonight. When are you going to be in a camp? When are you going to be in a camp? I know you're
in camp. Training camp in March.
Okay, so
at the beginning of the middle of the February or March.
Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford have formally agreed to fight one another in a super middleweight match, which is set for September 2025 at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas, Nevada. This is a major development in the boxing industry, because it brings together two of the best fighters in the sport. This news has caused a great deal of enthusiasm among boxing fans.
What's up, fight fans? Some breaking news. This guy, Julius Julianis, who's an ESPN Knockouts reporter, is reporting that the fight isn't only about to be announced, but the contracts are signed between none other than Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford. In Julianis' report, he claims that this fight has been signed, sealed, delivered, and it's going down this September in Las Vegas. We know Canelo was in London for the Ring Magazine Awards with Turki Al-Sheikh, seemingly shaking hands as business partners. And just today, as a few hours ago, Bud Crawford landed in London and was seen with Turki Al-Sheikh this September. It's official. What are your thoughts? This headline is all the details the Ring Magazine put out about 2 hours ago. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford, the fight is off. Guys, are they just messing with us for real? Because this is 48 hours removed from them reporting the location. First ever stadium fight, Allegiant Stadium. Even though the fight was 7 months away in September, this in everybody's eyes was going on. And then all of a sudden, the Ring Magazine, Turki Al-Sheikh, releases this with no other details. Canelo Alvarez and Bud Crawford in September is off.
A historic clash was put in motion when the agreement for this high-profile match was agreed in January 2025. The undisputed super middleweight champion, Canelo Alvarez, has a stellar record of 62 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, and 39 knockout victories. Terence Crawford, his opponent, is the current undisputed welterweight champion and has an impeccable record of 41 victories with 31 knockouts. With this fight, Crawford advances to the super middleweight class with the goal of challenging Alvarez and solidifying his reputation.
All right, let's talk Canelo Crawford, Jake Paul again. Let's try and give a timeline of events. So on Tuesday, Ring Magazine confirmed that Canelo Crawford was on for September 13th, Raiders Stadium. That's what we got on Tuesday. On Wednesday, we started hearing whispers of Jake Paul. It sounded crazy at the time. I did a video on it. I said that's impossible. But then those whispers became louder and louder and louder. On Thursday, Ring Magazine reported that Canelo Crawford was off. Thursday evening, so just after me and G-Man had filmed, we got reports that Jake Paul versus Canelo, or Canelo versus Jake Paul, was very much a real thing and was close to being signed off, and that would have happened on Netflix. About 2 hours later, we got confirmation that Canelo versus Jake Paul is now not a thing and is off, and that Canelo has signed a 4-fight deal with Riyadh Season, and Turkey went on social media talking about he's the lion and don't mess with the lion and things like that, which I thought was quite funny. Canelo versus Crawford is now back on, and that will happen in September. Canelo versus Jake Paul is now off and won't happen for at least another couple of years. Yeah, I think.
Canelo Alvarez's choice to sign a 4-fight contract with Riyadh Season, which resulted in the cancellation of their forthcoming fight, has been attacked by Jake Paul in recent events. Paul claimed that Alvarez is now a slave to the Riyadh Season, suggesting that financial incentives had a role in his choice to stay away from more competitive bouts. He also accused Alvarez of avoiding tough opponents, including as Terence Crawford, because of public pressure.
Oh, Canelo, you puta.
And this fucking YouTuber, I just fight real fighters.
Time to expose him. So we had a signed contract to fight. Here you can see Canelo's signature and my signature to the right. Claiming he's not fighting YouTubers. Bullshit. Look at the poster. We were announcing Tuesday, February 11th. Claiming he fights real fighters, but he's fighting Crawford, a 135-pound fighter, and running from a real fighter like David Benavidez, you bitch. The truth is you can be bought. You're a money-hungry squirrel chasing your next nut. The truth is these sports-washing shady characters are paying you hundreds of millions of dollars to stop our fight from happening because they couldn't fathom the fact that they can't create a bigger fight than me and you. Al Heyman has made you hundreds of millions of dollars and you turned your back on him for this check. Disloyal. And you were begging to do this fight on pay-per-view. But I have loyalty. Loyalty to Netflix, doing the biggest numbers. And you call me a YouTuber, but you've never had a boxing match as big as mine. Remember you told my team that your daughter came home and asked if you were fighting Jake Paul? She was all excited. You said that was the first time your daughter's ever asked you about a fight, and you're screwing over all your Mexican fans by doing your fights in Saudi. It just shows what type of person you are. And I promise you one thing, Canelo, any fight that you do this year, mine will be bigger. So go fuck off to your boss, you Ring Magazine employee, you pink and orange bitch. And oh, fix that herpes on your lip.
Canelo Alvarez stressed his supremacy in the super middleweight class and sent Terence Crawford a harsh message at a recent live news conference. "This is my territory," he said. "Although Crawford is an excellent fighter, entering my divisions presents a new set of difficulties. I'm prepared to demonstrate my superiority in this situation." Alvarez's self-assurance demonstrates his resolve to defend his championships against a strong opponent who is going up in weight class.
How is Crawford going to be able to bridge this weight gap?
Yeah, I don't think he can, in all honesty. I mean, he might not be able to bridge it on Saturday.
Yeah.
So,
one weight class.
68, yeah, but you're coming up from 35. 35, 40, 47, 54. Sooner or later, it's one too many. And 68 is definitely too many. But Crawford's brilliant. Like, he's a genius. He's a generational great. So maybe he can find a way to do it. But I feel he'd be hugely outsized against Canelo Alvarez. Yeah. But you have to use your movement. If you're Terence Crawford in that fight, the last thing you want to do is stand and trade. He'd be moving a lot in that fight, trust me. I'm not saying he'd be running, but he would be moving a lot. Of course, that's the way to beat him.
Yeah.
You know.
Canelo Alvarez is regarded as one of the world's top pound-for-pound boxers because of his strength and tactical adaptability. A 4-division world champion, Crawford is quick, accurate, and versatile in the ring. Fans are giddy with anticipation for what is sure to be one of the biggest boxing events of the year, a battle of styles and skills.
When Terence Crawford said that he moved up and won, and Canelo moved up and lost,
they talk all the crazy stuff about me going up and having a tough time, but he went up in weight and lost. That's the difference. I went up weight and won.
I don't think that was a strong point because Canelo Alvarez actually moved up and won. I mean, he moved up a lot of weight classes, but if you want to talk about light heavyweight, he moved up and he beat Kobe. Then he moved up again and he lost to Bivol. Terence Crawford, on the other hand, he moves up to 154. He won 115, 113, but it was just an 11-0 Madrimov who didn't really have much of a resume, right? But there's a difference, to be real. I mean, Bivol is a Hall of Fame. Okay, this guy, all-time light heavyweight. It's a bit different. Canelo did knock out Kovalev when he did move up. Okay, and Kovalev is a bigger challenge at light heavyweight than Madrimov at 154 for Terence Crawford. Let's just keep it a bit.
According to the others, Canelo Alvarez, who has a 62-2 professional record, is a formidable opponent in the super middleweight class. Canelo's power, quickness, and experience make him a formidable opponent for anyone, and he has demonstrated his ability to succeed at higher weight classes. Sean Porter is worried about Crawford's ability to withstand Canelo's hitting force. Porter doubts Crawford's capacity to endure such energy, especially in light of the leap in weight classes, given Canelo's propensity for landing strong strikes. This worry is a reflection of a greater fear of Crawford's ability to withstand the physical strain of against a naturally larger opponent.
People that say that Crawford can beat Canelo, no problem. I mean, I respect that, but I just think they're stupid. I mean, excuse my language. Mm-hmm. The size difference of a bigger man changes everything with one punch. Yeah. And I can see the same thing. I mean, you saw Canelo Alvarez fighting Amir Khan. Now, look at this. Terence Crawford moved from 47 to 54 to fight Madrimov. What did he do to Madrimov? Nothing. A lot. Mm-hmm. Okay, Madrimov was a 54-pounder. Now, to move up to 168, that's 2 more divisions. Mm-hmm. Canelo Alvarez will take any punch from Crawford, but I don't think Crawford will take any punches from Canelo. Yeah. Remember, Canelo got hit by Triple G, right, the heaviest hitter in that division. And Canelo took those shots like a champ. I don't think Crawford has anything to beat Canelo.
When you say, I want Canelo, is there anybody in the camp that would say, you're not ready for this?
That's a big boy. He's strong. That's a conversation. It's not just, oh man, you will whoop his ass.
Like yes, man type stuff.
I'm not worried about Canelo. I'm not thinking about Canelo. I'm just focused on Israel Madrimov.
In a small way, is this a stepping stone to your dream fight?
I don't look at fights as stepping stones.
Mikey Garcia, a former 4-division world champion, has shared his thoughts on the impending super middleweight fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez. Garcia thinks that the battle will be decided by Alvarez's strength and stature. Garcia went into further detail about his viewpoint, pointing out that even if Cos has extraordinary talent, the stark size disparity may be problematic. Alvarez has been competing at 168 pounds, he said, while Crawford recently increased to 154 pounds and had some challenges.
There are too many weight classes apart. And although the skills, Crawford is one of the best fighters that I've seen. Mm-hmm. Now, Canelo is, fighting at 168. Crawford just moved up to 154. And he had some trouble with that in that fight. Now, where do you plan on going? 164, 65, 66? Yeah. Canelo ain't gonna come down to 160.
Yeah,
Canelo ain't gonna come down, maybe 166 max if he accepts. Yeah. I think Canelo wins that fight based on just the size, power and size. Now, skill-wise, I think Crawford's a better skilled fighter, but the difference in size will be the deciding factor, and that's why I'm not even a fan of that fight. I think Crawford has accomplished everything he had to accomplish from 140, 147, now 154. That's even greater for him. If he wants to do something, collect belts at 154, he can attempt that. But there's no money in that compared to the Canelo fight. And Canelo is trying to fight other guys, and at that point it's more of a big fight for the money that's gonna generate. But as a fight fan, I'm not really a fan of that matchmaking. I'd rather see Canelo move up and fight somebody like Bitterbeef or Revolt again. If he wanted to challenge himself, move up to 175 again, and challenge himself against those guys. Not a smaller guy.